Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our February 24th planning meeting. I would welcome back council and staff. For those that are joining with us in person, I ask you to please ensure that your communication devices are either cut off or put on vibrate, please. Those that are joining with us virtually, we welcome you. The meeting will be streamed live and recorded for public viewing on the town's YouTube page. We acknowledge that this land on which we are gathered today is part of the ancestral land of the Chippewa, Ottawa, and Potawatomi peoples, referred to collectively as Anishinaabe. Through the connection of the Anishinaabe with the spirit of the land, water, and air, that we recognize their unique cultures, traditions, and values. Together as treaty people, we have a shared responsibility to act with respect the environment that sustains all of life, protecting the future for those generations to come. Council, I would remind you, if you have a pecuniary interest, declare it at the appropriate time. The clerk, I see we have one delegation with us. Is there any others tonight or just the one?
The one, Your Worship.
Okay. Well, at this time, I'd like to call and welcome JESSOME, going to give us a presentation on the brief history of living in WANSTEAD.
Yes, the current situation. I have done a presentation, which Mackenzie is going to pull up here, and it is pre-recorded.
Okay.
As well as some visual while we're going along. I have provided council with a written of my verbal, if you would prefer to read along while presentation's going.
Okay, good.
Your Worship, Mayor Atkinson, members of the council and staff. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is JESSOME. I'm here to highlight the rich history and enduring spirit of WANSTEAD, Ontario, a community deeply rooted in resilience, agriculture, and a shared commitment to preserving our rural way of life. Today, WANSTEAD remains a close-knit, agriculturally focused community with the WANSTEAD Farmers Co-op as a cornerstone of our economy and heritage. Our residents cherish their tranquility, history, and rural charm that define our town. However, we are also keenly aware of the importance of maintaining its identity in the face of new developments that could alter the very character of our home. It is in this spirit that we speak today, to advocate for thoughtful and responsible decision-making that honors WANSTEAD's past, supports its present, and safeguards its future. Today I'm speaking on behalf of myself, Mike Lopes, Nick and Jen Bailey, James and Crystal Bordick, Sam and Jackie Kay, Dave and Cynthia King, Cindy Cambercourt, Nancy Broad, Melody Halliday as residents of WANSTEAD who opposed to the proposed zoning amendment and construction of a livestock washing station at 5309 and 5310 Layton Street, along with 5507 Co-op Street. Our group previously submitted letters of opposition in April 2024. Our opposition is based on legal violations and misrepresentations in prior zoning approvals, environmental risks and contamination concerns, negative impact on our hamlet's character, property values, and quality of life, failure of the town to enforce zoning bylaw violations from previous approvals, extensive flooding on surrounding properties for the past 2 years, exacerbating water table issues, properties owners' concern regarding decreased property values and long-term financial losses, the inadvertent or intentional omission of 5507 Co-op Street from the 2024 zoning bylaw request, despite it being spot zoned in 2018. The town did not follow the recommended minimum distance separation calculation form. As we speak, this business is pumping water from our ground wells for commercial use of their mobile power washing company. This is against what the properties are zoned for. And it was not only approved for storage and personal use, Meanwhile, there are pumps and tanks being filled to supply for commercial use vehicles. We do not understand why this business is being allowed to operate. There are also CO2 canisters stored outside, steel building structures on the ground, washroom and shower facilities, and an office in the storage building at 5309 Main Street. Our ability to make submissions has been hampered by not yet receiving documentation requested under the FOI Act in respect to this matter. Biosecurity and public health concerns. The facility will be used for cleaning agricultural transport vehicles that may carry disease-causing pathogens. The risk of disease transmission, including African swine fever and avian influenza, increases with improper sanitation. Proximity to residential homes further amplifies the risk of airborne contaminants and strong odors affecting local health and quality of life. Fire safety hazards. A large CO2 canister is already present on site, less than 100 feet from a residential home and a propane storage area. The Ontario Fire Code requires careful assessments of fire risks associated with compressed gas storage. The facility's increased truck traffic and chemical storage create additional fire hazards. A comprehensive fire safety plan must be conducted before approval. Our ability to make submissions has been hampered by not yet receiving documentation requested under the FOI in respect to 5309 Layton Street, which could be relevant to this application. It is not clear whether all of the documentation required for this type of application has been obtained and considered by the council. Such documents would include planning justification report, functional servicing report, stormwater management report, phase 1 and 2 environmental reports, noise impact study, geotechnical hydrological report, risk assessment for above tanks to ensure that the requirements of the TSSA are met, site servicing and grading plan, and erosion and sediment control. The town's planning consultant previously recognized the need for such documentation and to consider the potential for offsite contamination, including impact on the private wells serving adjacent residents. Adjacent property owners have already noticed depletion of the water table, a situation potentially exacerbated by the facility's water use. The facility has received a permit to take water approval, allowing for the withdrawal of a specified numbers of liters per day. However, this water extraction is already impacting residential wells. A hydrological study is necessary to determine the long-term impact of this facility on well sustainability and water quality before any approvals are granted. Implications of federal funding and regional ASF hub designation. The facility has received funding under the African Swine Fever Industry Preparedness Program, which aims to enhance efforts to prevent ASF from entering Canada and prepare for a potential outbreak. This funding suggests that WANSTEAD could become a regional hub for ASF responses, leading to increased traffic, biosecurity risks, and environmental concerns. The community must consider whether it is prepared for the implications of such a designation. Because the town is small and members of the council have dealing with members of the community outside of business, we respectfully request the consideration be given to any conflicts of interest prior to voting on the application to amend the bylaw. Potential breach of the Ontario Water Resources Act. If the facility's operation lead to water depletion or contamination affecting local wells, it would be contrary to the Ontario Water Resources Act. Under the Ontario Water Resources Act, unauthorized water takings or contamination can result in significant fines in order to remediate the affected environment. Section 34 of the OWRA explicitly protects existing well users by ensuring that new water takings do not interfere with established water sources. Non-compliance with A4 zoning and land use regulations. The current A4 zoning is designated for agriculture and residential uses. The proposed commercial scale washing facility is an industrial operation that contradicts the Ontario land use planning guidelines. Approving this facility under a C3 exception would set a precedent for further industrialization in rural areas, making it difficult to deny any future applications. Environmental and water contamination risks. The facility will rely on high volumes of water, potentially affecting the local water table and depleting residential wells. The closed loop system, while intended to recycle water, still produces wastewater that may contain manure, bacteria, and cleaning chemicals. The potential for groundwater contamination is high, putting local drinking water at risk. Without an independent environmental impact assessment, there is no assurance that wastewater management will be effective or compliant with Ministry of Environment, Conservation, and Park guidelines. Will the township be prepared in case of a potential contamination? The OWRA prohibits the discharge of polluting material in or near water. Section 34 of the OWRA requires obtaining a permit for withdrawals exceeding 50,000 liters per day. Unauthorized water takings or those causing adverse effects on neighboring wells can lead to significant repercussions. Any spills or leaks from the facility could violate this act, leading to consequences for both the operators and the township. We are requesting a rejection to any bylaw amendment within the hamlet for zoning going to C3 or C3-2s. Alternatively, conduct independent environmental, biosecurity, fire safety, hydrological assessments, noise and traffic studies, and release them to the public for further consideration in the event of the application. The opposition to the opposed facility reflects WANSTEAD's enduring community spirit and commitment to preserving our hamlet's rural character. Help us keep WANSTEAD great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Jess, for that presentation, and thank you for the handout for us to review at a later time. As every council, this is just an information session that Jess has given us this evening. So thank you for taking the time to do that. We do appreciate it very much.
Appreciate its time. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, council. Thank you, staff.
Really? We'll be on it. Back from the solid.
That should be on.
Okay, council, let's move to item number 5, business arising from the previous meetings. Quick, anything under that?
Nothing at this time.
All right, item 6.1, staff reports. Anything under that?
Not this time.
Bylaws.
No bylaws tonight.
Item 8.1, correspondence.
No action required. Correspondence, your worship.
All right, that takes us to item 9. I have a motion by Councillor Bojan, second by Councillor Vacy, that the correspondence items A to C related to recommended reading and routine approval. Information items not otherwise addressed by resolution be noted as received by the Plympton-Wyoming Council and filed accordingly. That's items A to C. Council, anything on that? I'll start on my left. Councillor Wolvett.
I would just comment that it's kind of, we did apply for this grant, did we not, on the second round? We didn't get in on the first, but kind of disappointing knowing the kind of development that we are trying to promote in this municipality, so unless there's a third round, kind of left out.
Yeah, and they did make a, through the chair, if I may, they did make a rush of announcements prior to the leadership race for the federal Liberals announcing a lot of these. There are still funds possibly available, and a number of the CAOs in the area are still holding out that they may make some other announcements once Parliament sits back down. But as you know, the current political situation is not exactly conducive to making those decisions. So if the program continues, it probably will not be until after a federal election.
Thank you.
Councillor Van Claver.
Nothing for me, sir.
Deputy. Rodriguez. Councillor Vacy.
Just a comment that the helping to build more homes faster in Ontario, they list right in there that it's all for the big cities, yet it affects us more than not on every decision they're making. So it's once again, ugly stepchild gets pushed aside.
Oh, I can see the headlines of the Independent. Councillor Bojan.
Nothing further, thank you.
All right, all those in favor? Carried. Item 10, new business. Councillor Bojan relating to planning.
Nothing planning, thank you. Nothing.
Councillor Van Claver.
Thank you.
Councillor Wolvett.
The only item I would have is that I've been asked a couple of times on Confederation line, where we replace the concrete portion. Is there any plans to do the other section of concrete portion in the near future?
Mr. Samansky.
Yes, that will be completed this year.
This year?
But I believe that staff are already working on the documents. The tender will be released once council approves budget.
Yep. That's all I have.
All right. Clear that order of business closed. Item 11, closed meeting session. I have a motion by Councillor Rodriguez. Yes, sorry, quick, I didn't see you here.
Okay, your worship, we have some time obviously between now and our public meeting. We could consider going in for just one of the items. Coming back out for the 6 o'clock meeting, council would like. So I could just amend that motion for you and create another one for.
We have,
Next,
let's
yeah.
take care of one.
Okay, sure. I will scratch out. So Councilor Rodriguez and Councilor Vacy moved this motion to go into close for all three, but we're just gonna go in now for item B, the litigation matters is. That okay? Yep. Okay, so just, no, don't read those two.
Okay, motion by Councillor Rodriguez, seconded by Councillor Vacy. The council moves into an in-camera meeting of council. To section 231 of the Municipal Act 2001 is amended for the following reason. Item B, litigation matters, section 239 bracket 2 bracket E. Litigation or potential litigation involved, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board. Those in favor? Carried. For those that are joining with us virtually, we are going in camera. We will be back at 6 o'clock for a public meeting. So I'd ask you to, if you're interested, to join with us at that time. Thank you.